And on the stage, some of my co-conspirators are joining. So my name is Jose Cavazos. I'm a neurologist and a recovering hippocampal sclerosis researcher. As you've learned yesterday, it's becoming more interesting. Today, we have been working for the past 5 years as a team, several DREC leaders. The REC is 5 years old. And the team began with Barbara Bendlin from University of Wisconsin, the subsequent chair, Hussein Yassin from USC, Liz Head, who unfortunately is not here, from University of California, Irvine. Then I took the leadership helm, and my successor will be Dr. Susie Stark. So this has been a privilege to represent the group, and we will be talking in tandem for several of the goals of the REC. So as it was shown last year in the fall by Cerise, the REC scholars, based on your RPPRs, consist of 634 scholars and trainees, and there has been past support for 343 in these 5 years. This is the training workforce future of the entire community. And for Alzheimer's disease, of those, 52 are currently affiliated, of the past ones, affiliated with an ADRC, and 62 are working or collaborating in an ADRD field. Now, this slide reminds me that there are a lot of people here in the audience who are REC scholars. Can the REC scholars stand up, please? Stand up, come on. Okay? Now, for all of the established investigators, please meet at least 3 people who are not in your center. And you're going to have the opportunity of meeting them because we're going to have a poster session following this session. So please meet at least 3 individuals. So this data has been compiled from the RPPRs, and guess what? We have changes in the RPPR tables. We have had a great diversity of ideas of what the REC means to different places. Some people place predoctoral students, some individuals place postdoctoral trainees, and the majority put junior faculty. Having said that, in your tables, given that the REC is a research environment for the entire ADRC, please place that information so that we can track in the future these individuals. Both Susie and I came from the CTSA world, and as KL2 program directors, we have brought quite a few of the interesting ideas on how to track these individuals who are part of the pipeline. And certainly, there's actually quite a bit of information in the CTSA world about K to R transitions and KL2 to eventual R1 investigator, etc. So several of these things we will subsequently try to implement and examine as to what are the best practices as well as better predictors for improving the pipeline. Now, when the REC was formed, there were 3 committee goals. And I will be speaking about Committee Goal 1, which is to collaborate across the ADRCs. And to do this, we have done over the years several things. Among them, the poster sessions, which you are going to be participating later today by selecting your three best posters. In addition, we have done a mock study session twice. Tomorrow is the second time. We have connected scholars and trainees across the centers by multiple events. We have identified trainee needs and training gaps, as well as we have worked together with the Alzheimer's Association and ISRD PIA collaborations, and have done REC trainee and leadership databases. So while there is a lot of work still to be done to improve those directories, and your tables are very helpful to us, we do need to also improve the website to improve those collaborations. Now, specifically, our key national activities is we do a poster session at the spring and fall ADRC meetings. And this is something that we started smaller, and we have scaled now to every single ADRC meeting. We also have been giving 2 NAC and REC prizes for the best posters. In some years, the NAC has contributed. In some other years, our leaders, the ADRCs of our steering committee has participated by donating the honorarium for those individuals. And so also the REC mock study session, as you will see, will be happening at the spring ADRC meeting, and that's something that we would like to also put in the future, because this is one of those activities that does mentoring for the workforce. We also have been working on virtual national activities, as you will see, with CPC, Journal Club, and other things, and the directory of scholars. Now, every single one of us has come into the REC. And by the way, this reminds me that nominations will be asked from all of the centers for someone to join the steering committee. And this is a very much working steering committee. And so we look forward for people who are interested, who are REC directors or core leaders, to participate and be nominated for election. Similarly, REC scholars are able to participate in one of the subcommittees, as it will be discussed in a second. But what each of us has done when we get into the steering committee is to take an issue. And my issue has been sustainability of the national activities. And we do need the help of ADRCs and of NAC and collaborative help from, and thank you for the Alzheimer's Association, so that we together train the next generation of ADRC scientists. So here are examples of what we have done in poster sessions. In the spring of 21, we had 22 video presentations. In 22, 17, 29 in 23, 29 in person in 23 in the fall, and in the spring of 24, 35 in in-person poster presenters. And here are 2 people who won the Rising Star Awards from the fall 2003. They gave seminars, national seminars that are broadcast to the entire community. Now, the mock study session in 23 had 28 scholars who participated and a similar number of mentors. We review a sample R1 and a K, and we had insights from NIH program officers and leaders, and the scholars had one-on-one meetings to discuss specific aims with rec leaders. Let me start moving. And we have also created a feedback center. This is the survey that was taken and performed by Cheryl, who is from the Wisconsin ADRC. By the way, thank you very much to the Wisconsin ADRC, because Cheryl has been the administrative support for the majority of the national activities, as well as Claire from UC Irvine, as well as Rosa and Emma, and Jan Lowell. Thank you. Without their help, nothing gets done. You know that very much. So databases. So we do have this directory that is slowly improving. Amy Young is the person who manages this NAC list. And we, thank you to the Alzheimer's Association, we're going to be hosting a Rec Scholar and Trainee Support reception at the AAIC in Philadelphia. So thank you for their support, and certainly it's a networking opportunity where scholars can meet rec leaders, NIH and NIA program staff, as well as other emerging scholars. So make sure that you have that information. I'm going to ask Dr. Yacine to take the lead to discuss the goal number 2.
Good morning, and thank you, Jose, for the nice presentation. And again, thank you, Cheryl Spenceley, for doing all the hard work on behalf of all of us for REC. So it has been my pleasure over the last couple of years to work with a very group of talented people. And my pet peeve, or my interest really has been in developing a core curriculum that all REC scholars can actually take advantage of. To be able to be effective, we decided strategically to partner with the Alzheimer's Association. And through this partnership, this led to several seminars that happened over the past few years. You can find them on our YouTube channel. And these seminars were designed to provide really high-quality content on education, grant writing, articles, submission of papers, and so forth. All of that is to your advantage. So as an example of what's happening, we at REC has instituted meetings almost monthly over 2 years with the association to provide a platform for training. And we are very happy that the association has integrated a lot of activities, as you could see in the slide. There are lunchtime meetings, there are extra meetings set up where you as scholars can come and decide on which session you would like to be involved in. For example, myself and Barb Blendon from Wisconsin will be talking about grants and reviving somebody's career. There are other committees which are going to be talking about submission of manuscripts, writing and science, and so forth. And these are planned throughout the whole AAIC. We've also been working with the association to make sure it's affordable. So as you could see, the actual, there are travel fellowships, there are special pricings for postdocs or grad students to be able to travel and attend AAIC and to be able to benefit from all these activities that we're doing. Before I go to the clinical pathology conference, I really want to give a shout out to ALSPED. They have a booth outside. To me, this is really very important because one of the areas that I like to champion as a study section member or as a scientist is rigor, reproducibility of research. And we do have a crisis in research reproducibility in animal models. We don't treat animal models the same way we treat clinical research. So I'm really happy to see that ALSPED has starting to institute protocols that will allow us to do more effective animal research, registering protocols, defining how the animal experiment should be, possibly randomization and blinding when possible. So please, the booth that Elspeth has outside will have important information so that we can do more reproducible science. Now, the second topic that I was asked to talk about is really a topic that Liz has been spearheading, and unfortunately Liz cannot be with us today. This is the CPC conference. It's an ongoing work group that's meeting and projected to meet again in the next couple of months, and hopefully will start in the fall, where there's you know, a diverse educational tool and a library accessible to all of you, so that we can learn from key pathology cases and you know, have a national discussion on how to move this field forward. So there's going to be some issues to be ironed out, like HIPAA and accessibility and IRB perspectives, but I think it's going to be a very exciting platform for education that most of you can benefit from. Okay, so I'm going to turn now the podium to my colleague, Dr. Susie Starks, to talk about the Journal Club.
Thanks, Sen. So just wrapping up with a few things, we are piloting a journal club. This is an early call for you, those of you who might be interested in participating. You can let us know. But Liz Head and I will launch this in 2024. We're kind of responding to scholars' requests for more cross-rec interactions. So we're going to have a monthly journal club where folks can get together. We have a few ideas in mind. Ideas are seminal works with leading scholars to help lead the discussion, some cutting-edge papers that are coming out that we want our scholars to be aware of, and then scholars' choices of papers that we can bring together. Depending on how many folks we get, these might be broken up into smaller groups over time, but if you're interested in journal club stuff, give Emma, her email's at the bottom, a shout out, and we will put you on the list as we develop this project. Pretty excited about that. Both Jose and Sen mentioned these resources. I want to point out that we have some resources that you can check out that are ever growing and ever emerging. Remember, we're the baby of the group 5 years in, so that's our anniversary, but we are developing some new awesome resources that we hope each of your centers can take advantage of. And then today we are super excited that you will be helping us select the next rising stars. These amazing trainees are going to be selected by us today after you observe their poster sessions. They will then be invited to speak at UC Irvine or at Washington University. So we're looking forward to helping them begin to build their networks and joining us at different centers. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jose so we can talk about how that's going to happen.
Thank you. Again, nothing of this could have be done without the help of Cheryl. So we have 35 poster boards next door in the next location where we had breakfast yesterday. And we are going to have every poster has a QR code. If you are excited, you can go immediately to that and vote for that poster, or you can vote for any other posters. This is the QR code, but please vote for your top 3. The results need to be in by noon today. So at noon it closes. Okay, and at 1:30, just as the session is opening, you are going to be announcing the winners for these 2 awards. The poster board session is being sponsored by the South Texas ADRC, and we really are very happy to be able to contribute to this operation. But as I said, sustainability is important for the national operations of the REC committee. So go ahead. So we have one subcommittee in the group. It is the diversity subcommittee, and Minerva Carrasquillo from the Mayo Clinic is going to present a report.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jose, for the kind introduction. I'm really glad to have the opportunity to share with you today the efforts that the Supporting Diversity Work Group has been spearheading. But before going any further, I would also like to acknowledge the amazing support that Cheryl Spenceley provides to our work group to ensure that we move forward smoothly with this initiative. So as I'm sure you all know, minoritized populations remain vastly underrepresented in research, and it's really up to us to help raise the next generation of well-qualified, diverse scientists. And we realize that not all centers have the experience or the infrastructure to enable research education outreach for underserved minority students. So the initial goal of the Supporting Diversity Work Group is to create a toolkit that will enable, that will be available via the NAC website, which will provide examples of programs already established at some of the ADRC's institutions. And this toolkit will provide descriptions of these educational programs, including curriculum and strategies for securing funding and recruiting volunteers. So the toolkit is meant to help ADRCs engage in this initiative by establishing training and mentoring programs that intentionally reach out to underserved schools and academic institutions that are composed primarily of students from backgrounds underrepresented in biomedical research to really spark their interest in brain health research and enhance their career development. Our goal for this toolkit is for it to be ready by January of 2025 for viewing and downloading descriptions of programs suitable for students as young as kindergarten and research trainee all the way up to junior faculty. In the next few slides, I will provide you some examples of these programs. So this is an example applicable to students from elementary through high school. This program called Brain Fair for Children was established by Dr. Heather Bemonte Nelson at Arizona State University with funding from the Society of Neuroscience, school districts, and other funding agencies. And this program is focused on children from Title I schools, teaching them about the brain health and the importance of college and education. And here's another example. This is the Brainwaves program that was established at Mayo Clinic to provide neuroscience education to students from kindergarten all the way up to high school from mainly low-income communities across Jacksonville, with a goal to increase participation of students underrepresented in STEM. And in this program, education and mentoring is provided through an interactive curriculum that is fun for the students. And this program is funded by the Department of Neuroscience and is fully run by volunteers from our department, many who are trainees in laboratories affiliated with the Mayo Clinic or ADRC. Another great example here is the Bill Scholar program at UC Irvine. And this is volunteer-driven also as a research education outreach focused on students in lower socioeconomic communities. It is run by UC Irvine ADRC faculty and trainees who offer a one-week summer neuroscience program to 11th graders, plus a one-year mentoring on career and college guidance through 12th grade. The Bill program is exclusively philanthropically supported. And next is an example from the Brain Bee, which is a program geared towards high schoolers. The primary goal of the Brain Bee is to motivate students to learn about the brain and to inspire them to pursue careers in neuroscience. During the school year, the students really around the world study a common neuroscience curriculum to compete in their local Brain Bee chapter competition. And here at Mayo Clinic, the Department of Neuroscience sponsors the Jacksonville Brain Bee chapter, which is really formed by faculty and trainee volunteers in our department that supplement the curriculum with monthly lectures and review sessions. And we also host a local competition here at Mayo. And although this example shown here is based on the Brain Bee chapter sponsor at Mayo, there are really numerous Brain Bee chapters across the nation who send their winner to the USA Brain Bee competition, where the first, second, and third place winners receive a cash prize, and the first place winner goes on to participate in the international Brain Bee competition. So you can imagine how this really fosters their interest in neuroscience and their possibilities to enter programs that are highly competitive later on. So one more example here is for high schoolers, and this is the science program for advanced research knowledge, or also called SPARK. which started at Mayo Clinic in the summer of 2017 to provide exposure to real-world scientific research. And the students spend at least 25 hours per week working on a research project during their summer break and prepare a poster that they enter to compete in a science fair. And many of them have won regional and state awards, honors, and cash prizes for their research. In the images that I'm showing in this slide are examples from Spark students that are presenting their winning projects locally at a Mayo poster presentation. And also in the middle is one example of one of my students presenting at the regional science fair competition. And the picture on the right, it shows an example of one of our Spark trainees who went on to present at an international science fair. And then the next slide is an excellent program for undergraduate students in the highly competitive Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship called SURF. This program is not unique to Mayo Clinic either. It provides a good example of how ADRC-affiliated labs can help train and mentor undergraduate students throughout a 10-week-long research project that students work on 40 hours per week and prepare a poster presentation, often leading to co-authorship on a manuscript, which really elevates their applications for graduate school or medical school. And disseminating information about your institution's SURF program across colleges and universities that have a large proportion of minoritized students really helps increase recruitment of highly qualified, diverse students into your programs later on. So the last example that I will provide here is an opportunity available to undergraduate, graduate students, postdocs, and junior faculty. We have incorporated a scholarship within our NIA-funded Clear AD grant. The Clear AD Diversity Scholars Program is specifically designed to increase representation of Black, African American, and Hispanic Latino scientists in the field of Alzheimer's disease research. Based on the fact that despite having higher risk of developing AD, individuals from these populations remain underrepresented in AD research teams. So the scholars in this program receive a $25,000 scholarship per year for 2 years, with 10 scholars funded over the 5-year grant funding period. And they also receive mentoring and training to conduct research within the Clear AD program, which incorporates ADRC samples and data with the goal to identify novel blood-based biomarkers for AD by integrating blood and brain multiomics data from multi-ethnic cohorts. So our next step will be to gather resources from the 20 centers that express interest in sharing initiative conducted at their sites. And the toolkit will provide program descriptions, resources, including examples and funding resources, such as those listed on the slide, to enable the implementation of these initiatives at your center. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that you'll join in this initiative.
Thank you. And we are going to have a REX steering committee member nominee. Again, it's a 3-year cycle, as well as a nomination for a scholar to join the steering committee and the diversity subcommittee.